Welcome back, whippersnappers. This is Gramps. We are in Shapes 2. Last episode, we finished up this milestone shape, and it's just about done delivering. Just have a couple more pieces to get in there, which are probably going in right now. And that finishes up our milestone number 9, which is going to unlock the crystal. The crystal portion of things. So let's take a look at that. Yay! So crystals are a whole different thing. They put fluid into empty gaps or pins of a shape and harden it with the crystal generator. They are a little fragile, so you can't cut through a crystal. You can cut next to a crystal, but you cannot cut through a crystal. So on this shape that's being made here, you wouldn't be able to cut this way, but you could cut this way, up and down, not left to right. This one you could cut either way. You can see here with a double stacked shape that the crystal is generating in both the top and the bottom layer, and here with the bottom. So we unlock the crystal generator itself. Another 500 platform limit and a couple new tasks. Nothing super exciting there. We do have some operator shapes to claim. This one just came in. And there's 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Very good, very good. And this guy is working along now and getting going. So let's take a quick look here to our next milestone is a big one. That's train delivery. So super excited about that. And that is going to be a whole other thing. But in the meantime, let's take a look at these tasks we've got for milestone 10. We have a good old square and windmill piece in an hourglass, and then a circle hourglass that's yellow. Then over here, circle hour, that same one becomes white, and then eventually that gets put on the top here. All right, this guy then goes through a crystal generator and gets the red crystal added to it. Then what we need to do is combine the two of these. So what we're going to have to do at that point, because if we just stack this on top of this and then run it through red, then it's going to have red crystals on both top and bottom. If we run it through white, you'll have white crystals top and bottom. So we need to create this by itself. Then drop the white crystal, or the white shape, hourglass shape, on top of this, and then run that whole thing through a white crystallizer, crystal generator. And that will get us our final piece of the puzzle. Very exciting. So let's go through that and see what's going on. You know what? In the meantime, I think we can go ahead and do our final upgrade for speed. So those are done. Now we have a couple more points. I'm going to hold off on spending these points because with some of these blueprints I'm going to use, we may actually... Well, now I'm thinking about it, we may actually need this 3x3 foundation. That said, we should have it pretty quickly here with more points coming in. In the meantime, let's get going with these guys. Here's what I want to do. I want to see if we can find a was it a rectangle and then a windmill. So there's a lot of those. But do we have any that are just that? Like this guy here is so close, but it's got that circle in it. Right here, look at that. Boom. Beauty. And it happens to be right next to a red, although it's a small red patch. That's still pretty good. Oh, here's another one. Also next to a small red patch. Another one. So we also have this guy over here, which could be recolored to red. All All right, where's home base? Right here. So let's find what is closest. This one is pretty close, and there's a circle right here. Kind of like those two elements being together. All right, so let's do this. And also, this is in the right orientation. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to come in and drop a minor shape. Right there. And I'm going to bring that over here into a painter depot. Okay, let's go up here. Let's use this older painter depot one. So, yeah, right here. Except, alright, let me do this. I'm going to take it and put it down on the bottom layer. Alright, so that is good there. Now, what I need to do is start bringing some red fluid into there. We can do that from right here. So let's get a minor fluid. Right, and then I'm going to pull this out a bit, just because I may put other things up here, and then we won't have conflicts. So let's get a loader. And we'll go ahead and do a red train, because we are creative that way. And that. All right. So this is going to come along here. And it's going to drop down. Excellent. This guy, we need a shape loader. And again, the colors don't really matter. But I just kind of do it for my own clarification. But that is going to create our final shape. So let's go ahead and get that going in. And where are we going? Here. Let's go up here. Yeah, I think we can go into... You know what? Let's just put it right here for now. Where are we going to go? We've got an upper... Here, let's clear these out. Alright, this lower one is not being used. Right, and that is oh, I take it back. It is being used. What about over here? Is this being used? Maybe this one is free. That was on a different track. Yes, this one is free. And that is on the lowest level. And so yeah, we're gonna come up and be right here. There we go. So that's just on layer 1. There. right there. Oh, we've got a little jump over that depot. That's okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump over this, which is fine. And this guy is gonna come right in here. There. All right, excellent. So this is already loaded up. Let's get these rocking in. Cool. And so that is going for that. Now, we want to do this guy. And it's going to start off with the yellow. First of all, it's going to start off as an hourglass. So let's take this. Let's get rid of our shape filter. All right. And come in here to our good old hourglass maker. And that is not the right way, so I'm going to get rid of this. That is the right way. Okay. Then, and we're just throwing away the other half, which is fine. Then we want this to be yellow first, and then it's going to be white. So let's do this. I'm gonna get my white painter depot. White here. Or for the mixer. And at first, what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect that. And we're going to put red and green into the top two. And we'll put blue into the bottom. And that is going to allow us to do this. So we'll have a yellow crane. Right? And these are going right to left, which is not what I would like. So I'm going to flip it. There we go. That's what I want. Okay, so let's get a red. We'll get red going and green. There's some red, there's some green. And these are all going to go to the left. And this one again will be a red. And that. And that is green. We're going to put a green locomotive in there. Right, and that is into the bottom one, which is perfect. This will come down here, and then go up and go into the top one. Nice, and then we'll copy this whole thing, plunk it in here. And then this will go down. And go into the very bottom one. The blue. And we'll give it a locomotive. There we go. Alright, so that is getting us set up not only for yellow, which we'll use first, but then also for white. So we need these guys to go into a painter depot. So that will be, we'll put it out over here. Straight on in there. Nice and easy. But first, there. That. And we can go ahead, because we've got multiple tracks going. We can't put it there, we'll put it there. Is that we can go ahead and get the white train in position. And it's actually can even run. It's not going to do anything. All right. This needs a shape loader. I think we want to go that way. Right into there. Uh-huh. Alright. All set. There we go. So that's got this guy going. And we'll do a yellow train here. Oops. Where is our other guys delivering in? Right here. You know what? Let's just run it in together. I think we'll be fine. Because if we come back over here, that's coming in here. Yeah, that's fine. That comes in on this side here. You can see there's nothing in there right now, so that means there's space. Although there's ones unloading right this second. Okay. So let's go back down here and start getting ready for the crystal. So let's go over really quickly how crystals work. Here, we can do one right there. Okay, our crystals are here under fluids. Crystal generator is right here. So, works kind of like the painters. Just different ratios. The crystal generator requires 6 buildings per full belt of shape and 3 per fluid launcher. Okay, and so what you need to do is you need to double deliver the fluid. Okay, where are we? Let's grab this one. There we go. Just to get some fluid coming in here. So, yeah, that's how it works. And you feed this through here and it adds the crystal. I mean, pretty straightforward except for the ratios. So here is, let's look at the, well, that's a depot. We don't want that. That's 2.1. All right, let's see how many of these we've got now. Excellent. We've, that's good. The crystallizer. Here's my smaller crystallizer. Alright, so that's the 2x2. Let's see. That's a 2x2. That's... Is that this? Yeah, that's in here. Alright, so that's 35 points. Let's unlock that one. So again, so this brings the shapes in right here and then runs it through. We've got the fluid coming in here and here. And again, because fluid is sort of infinite in belts, you can use one fluid belt like that coming in to feed it all. You just need the fluid on all 3 layers, and that will work fine. Okay, this guy is done, so let's get him. Where are we here? Right. So I'm going to respawn you. Alright. And why is this not doing anything yet? Do we have... Is this running in? I do not see it running in. Let's respawn ya. Alright, there we go. Just for right now, we'll do 2 ya. Going in till those are done. Okay, so let's get a Crystallizer depot. Is that really my Crystallizer depot? Wow. Okay. Here's my Crystallizer depot, friends. Let's do it down here. Alright, so we've got fluid. Where are shapes? Where are shapes? Alright, shapes are coming in here. And then fluid here. Those both look like they're shape belts, right? Yeah. Where, oh where? Is this, what is going on? I'm not seeing any crystallizers here. I think, this may not be a crystallizer depot. So that's fine. Let's do this instead. We'll just use this. And we'll make a depot really quickly here. Yes, we've got on the one, which is where we want. And then I'm going to do a shape unloader. Right here. With the belt coming in. Then down below, and let's hide this, we will have a fluid unloader. Right there. I think we need to actually be here. Then come into that. And there. Okay, now we've got double fluid coming into both places. And there. And that's on the 0 level. Then we want the crystallized shapes to come out into a shape loader. And that will be there. Okay, so let's extend all these. Oops. One more. Okay. So that should do it. Let's get... This is our shape coming in. Then we just need to send a bunch of red fluid in. And for this, I want to do more than one. But we will do one here. Hard. Okay, so there is one train coming in. And that one is red, but I'm going to create another one. One from a different source. And that could be right here. This one I'm going to have a different color. We'll do magenta, since it is red adjacent. Okay, and then come over here and just run on into that same space. Okay, so we have red and more red, and then I'm going to also, because that's a little bit of a long haul, I'm going to make some extra trains here. Yeah, you can see that because we've sped everything up so much, it's just rocking in there. Full speed. Alright, those are going empty for now. But not for long. Okay. So, let's take a look. This has created our shape. You can see we've got full belts. And let's take a look at what it's doing here. So it brings it in. Yeah, we're running a little bit low on some crystal, but you can see that's what we want. All right. And again, we're just gonna run that in with that one for now. I'm just gonna do a red locomotive and go on in. So again, as I've said multiple times too, is we've got these, this is a blueprint that I made before. Once 1.0 releases, I'm going to be creating brand new blueprints for everything. So please come on back and join in on that. Best way to do that would be to like and subscribe. Then you'll get all those updates once that starts happening. This yellow is almost done, and once it is done, then we can swap that yellow over to be red. Yeah, there's 2 yellow trains coming back. I'm gonna get rid of one of them. Oops. Maybe both of them. No, just one of them. Respawn this one. Yeah, that's done. You know what? I'm just gonna cut it off. Because, yeah, we don't actually even need it. Right? As long as this gets to 10. Okay. Alright, so let's switch this now. And get rid of all of this. And that. So I'm reconnecting, taking this yellow fluid and sending it down here to this blue. Those are going to mix together and become white. And in the meantime, I'm going to get rid of all of this fluid and all these shapes. Okay, yes. So that is going to start turning this magically white. And we don't need to do anything to that. This one going in is red. We're going to make this white. There we go. Yep. Here's the white fluid coming in. Excellent. Okay. The next thing we're going to need to do, we're going to need another white fluid machine. Let's just put this one down here. And this one, yes, would have a blue feeding in, green feeding in, and more red. Yeah, let's do red right here. All right, and this white fluid maker is going to be used for our white crystallizer. Okay, that was on the one layer. Or layer number one, the middle layer, if you will. Gonna go up to the 2 layer, the highest layer. And then this one, it's going to go down to the 0 layer. Right? Yes. Excellent. All right, we are all set for that. Now, we need another crystallizer depot. So let's first of all check back in with this one and see how, oh my goodness, yeah, it is doing just absolutely fine. A little too fine. Let's get another delivery going, because that is completely jammed up. And we're going to take this. No, you know what I'm going to do? Because first thing we're going to need to do is take the output from this and put it into a stacker along with the output from this. So we'll get a stacker depot. And flip it. We're going to want the red on the bottom and the white on the top. So this is perfect. See, we have all this is going. Get another delivery going. So this is right here, right? So I'm going to be able to not do that. I'm going to be able to get the both these coming in. I'm going because we'll have the red track use this one and the white track use this one. I don't think we can do it right now, but maybe white and then red. Yeah. So red, you can see, is earmarked for this one. And then white is not showing, but I think that'll work. And here we can test it by doing this. Yep. Perfect. So that will work when we need it to. Then the output from this needs to run into another crystallizer. And that is going to be right here. And so we'll have the shapes coming in there. Then we need this fluid coming in there. Okay, so that will be the white fluid coming in here. And that is what is going to create this. Here's the other thing with crystals is you cannot drop them as in a stack. So we're going to have the red crystals coming in at the bottom. So they'll sit at the bottom of all these stackers. They can go over jumps. They can do elevation change, but they just cannot be dropped. Because if you put them in the top, then the crystal in the top layer is going to shatter. And sometimes that's used in certain cases. All right, let's go and check in. Let's make sure we're not super crowded over here. No, we're looking good. Excellent. All right. How's this going? This is looking good. These are still going in. So again, the red and white are sharing this train track all the way out to here. The other thing I could do, if I wanted to make sure they're not going to get jammed up, is I could have one of them, is I could do a split here and send one of them maybe to this track, this upper track. I think that is being used. Oh, it's not. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so right here, we're going to use our rail routing, and we'll send white this way. Woo, look at that timing. Excellent. So we've got red delivering down here and white delivering here. So that way these guys aren't going to conflict with each other. Good, good. All right, let's see if we need more. I feel like we could. Do another one of those and another one of these. So let's take a look. We still have some points we could spend. Let's get our train upgrades. And we can speed up our, maximize our train speed. So that is now at full speed. But also for only 18 points, we can upgrade our capacity. So they're now carrying 4 packages each. So let's bust out the old calculator. So again, each package is 180 times 3 layers times 4. So each full train is delivering 2160. 2,160 pieces. So that is awesome. There's 2 reds coming back and 1 red going in. So I think we only need 1 more red train after this. Oh, no, there's already a delivery in there. Yep. So we do not need any more reds to go in. So let's come back here. Let's start rerouting those reds into our stacker. Why not? Right? And let's see here. This one doesn't matter. So we're going to do this. And let's look at our the white train. All right, another delivery there. So I think let's say we only need 2 more of the white trains. Yeah, there we are. So let's do 1 and 2. And then I'm going to delete number 3 here. Once these guys pass here, there we go. I'm going to reroute white down this way. So the next time we get a white... you know what? I bet we only need 1 of these, to be honest. I'm going to send 1 of them back. Yeah, because that's at 10,000. This guy's got 2,000. Excellent. So this guy's going to cruise along here. And once he gets past this intersection, I'm going to route him back. There we go. All right. So let's see this. So you can see we have our crystallized red pieces sitting in there. And then now we're putting the white one right on top of it. All right. We do not have any white fluid in here yet. This is why. I'm going to do 2 of these just to get them going. All right. So, yeah, there we go. That is all good. All right, let's get a shape train going here, because that's going to pick these guys up and drop them into our white crystallizer. And that, my friends, is going to make our final shape, because the white crystal fluid will only go into this empty space here on the top. It's not going to do anything about the existing red crystal. So let's watch one of these come in the bottom. See? There we go. That's it. I'm going to get rid of one of those trains. Then we've got this track. Let's just reuse it, because we know that connects right on in. Right, that goes on down here. And it goes in the red one. Yeah, it's the straight one that goes down to the bottom, as opposed to the white one going up top. So that's perfect. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that. Oh. You know what? I can just get rid of that whole train. And let's get rid of this track there. Alright, that's another reason why I like to keep things kind of trimmed up, because then I can easily see, oh yeah, that's not being used. In fact, let's just get rid of this whole rail. Perfect. Alright, my friends, I think we've done it. Let's make sure, we'll wait for one of these to actually come in and deliver. And once we get done with this milestone, oh, train delivery. All right, so the fun thing about train delivery is that's when we're going to really go back and bulk some of these things up. So you've seen the little build that I've got for this guy, for instance, which is the easiest of the operator shapes that we have. That said, how many have we delivered in? Let's see here. We're on level 14 on that one. So that one's even falling behind some of these, which I've built a little bit bigger. So what we'll do next episode is we're going to build this, but we're going to build it up to kind of a crazy level. Like, we'll have 8 cars worth just jumping right on into the vortex. And that is... And the reason you would do that, why? Why would we do that? Well, the reason is because eventually, again, once we unlock all of these upgrades, then we've got our shape multiplier. And this is going to be kind of like, you know, it's going to be like something, it's like 750 research points to unlock this first level. But what that means is that every shape that goes in, instead of being one shape, becomes 2 shapes. So instead of a train of 2160, you now have a train of, 4320 going in. So that's kind of cool. And that's a single car. If we do that and we had 10 of those cars going in, because they're just jumping into the center, that's, 40, right? 40,000 shapes. It's over 40,000 shapes. 41,600 shapes. So that is kind of cool, right? Because, look, that means 3 of those trains, roughly 3 of those trains, equals an upgrade. And if we're just cranking those out, then, it's wonderful. Hey, there we go. Milestone 10 is on its way. All right, I'm going to just let these operator shapes roll. I'm not doing any more tasks. I'm just going to let it keep on cruising. All right, so that is going to be it for this episode. Again, thanks so much for watching. A like and a subscribe are always welcome and very much appreciated. So thank you so much. Let's double this one up before I go. Why not? This is Gramps, signing off.